Okay, so this is the second part of recalibrating your alchemy through stillness. And if you have not already listened to or watched that episode, it's the episode preceding this one, right before this one. Go back and watch that first and then come back to this episode. So, how do you rediscover your power through stillness? So, what you need to do first, you need to recognize that you have drama consciousness in operation. All right. This recognition is not self-judgment. All right. This is an acknowledgement. Okay. This is an acknowledgement. It's the same as if you were going to look into the mirror and acknowledge that you have two eyes, a nose, and one mouth. All right. You're not judging the fact that you have two eyes. You're not judging the fact that you have a nose. You're not judging that you have lips. All right. That is what we're doing. We are acknowledging, we are recognizing. All right. Now, after you do that, then you ask yourself, what have I gained by expecting drama and conflict? Now, this question, many things can come up. I'm going to give you 3 things, okay, that you may find as an answer. Or I should say, these 3 things, any answer that comes up for you is going to fall into one of these categories. All right. So I'm going to repeat the question. Ask yourself, what have I gained by expecting drama and conflict in my life? The first thing is safety. Safety. Even though it is a false sense of safety, because drama and conflict is familiar, it can come up being disguised as safety. You have a sense of safety by what you are familiar with. This is why the nervous system, doing work on the nervous system and identity is so essential to you operating in the fullness of your sovereignty. Okay. Now, the second thing is value. Now, what do I mean by this? So, religion will have you thinking that drama puts you on a high moral ground. And this is another reason why it's important for you to go back and listen to the previous episode, because I talk about this in that episode. Religion makes you think that if you have a bunch of things going on in your life, a bunch of challenges and struggles and fireworks over here, fireworks over there, you're putting out fires here, everywhere, all around you, that somehow puts you on a higher level because the heavens are favored by you, because you're struggling so much, you're doing so much that you must have some higher level of blessing or favor than the next person who is not experiencing any type of drama. That's what I mean. And in that drama, you find value because you've told yourself, well, I'm experiencing all this stuff, so it must mean that I am more valued. All right. The third thing is martyrdom. That drama and suffering becomes your way to show commitment on some level to someone, something, or some cause. Okay. Religion will influence you to believe that your commitment, you show your commitment first and only by putting yourself last, by putting your needs and your desires last. When really what that does is it actually breeds resentment within a person. All right. That's really what martyrdom is. And I don't want to, I can actually do an entire series on that. Okay, but those are the three things. So safety, value, and martyrdom. All right. So as you take time and just answer that question, as uncomfortable as it might seem, just allow whatever answers to come up to be there. 9 times out of 10, whatever comes up is going to fall into safety, value, or martyrdom. Okay. Now, after you do that, I want you to think about this question. What will you gain in stillness? What will you gain in calm? What will you gain in peace? What will you gain when you're looking around in your life and you have no drama happening? Things are quiet. There's no drama. Things are easeful. Things are flowing. What will you gain in that stillness? The first thing that you're going to gain is remembrance. And you may be saying, okay, remembrance of what? Well, you are going to remember that constant conflict, drama expectation is unnatural to your soul. And they are certainly not a requirement for life. That's what you're going to remember. You're also going to remember that there is safety in stillness and in peace. Because in stillness and in peace is where your next action is when there is a challenge that presents itself. Again, you're not expecting this challenge, but remember, spiritual beings, here we are in these physical bodies, in these suits, these earth suits, star seeds, star beings, whatever you want to call yourself, gold dust in this body. So challenges may present themselves, could present themselves without expectation. So in stillness is where your next action step is to transmute that challenge to where it now becomes a favorable opportunity for you. All right. Another thing that you're going to remember in stillness is that beauty is your birthright. What do I mean by beauty? Beauty, what I mean by beauty in today's episode, in this sense, beauty to experience life in all its perfection. To experience life in ease. To understand that you already have value and that you don't need to prove or put yourself in a stupid, funky, struggling experience to prove that you have value. You don't have to prove that you have value by settling for something beneath you. You don't have to prove that you have value to sit in something to again prove that you're strong, right? That's what I mean by beauty. I'm going to say this. You already have value, okay? You don't need to prove that by glorifying drama, by glorifying difficulty, by glorifying suffering. That is what religion does. But remember, you have detached from that. That is no longer a part of your operating system. That's what we're working on today. All right. Also know this. You can show, let me say this. What do you gain in stillness? You remember that you can show commitment to a cause. You can show commitment to someone without putting yourself last or taking on a commitment because you feel obligated to or because you feel that you should. All right. Now, The next thing that I want to share with you, this last thing that I want to share with you, all right, is what do you do to add more stillness in your life? All right. What do you do to add more of that stillness in your life? Well, first, you want to practice noticing when you start to feel anxious. Okay. This is the requirement here. This requires you to be present in your body so that you can then ask yourself the question, why am I feeling anxious? What does my body need in this moment? The way to work through that is through a deep breath. It's very simple. Because as you take that breath, you're going to notice where you feel the anxiousness. Noticing where you feel anxiousness in your body, this will help guide you to the next right action. So I'll give you an example of this. If you feel anxious and you're noticing where the anxiousness is coming up, and let's say, for example, you know that the anxiousness, you feel it in your face, in your jawline. And how does that present itself? Through clenching. It'll show up as you clenching your jaw, you clenching your teeth. This could very well mean that you are being faced with something where you have to operate in your creative power, where you need to use the power of your throat chakra to say something, to say some words to someone, or perhaps to yourself. Well, you are the someone, but it may mean that you need to express something. And then you could also look at the other side of that. It could mean that clenching of your jaw, you may be thinking of saying something, but perhaps you are hesitant to say it, and it just gives you time to think about what you're about to say. Either way, you're allowing your throat chakra to be at optimal function. All right. And here's a side note. For your throat chakra to be at optimal function, it means knowing when to speak and when to be silent. All right. But let's keep going. That's for another episode. That's for Tuesday. All right. Okay. So notice, another tip I'm going to give you is to notice when you are in the middle of doing something. I don't care what it is. It could be, some big project that you're working on. It could be something small. All right. Are you focused on what you're doing in front of you? Or are you already into the next 5 minutes? Are you already into the next 5 hours? Are you already into the next 5 days? Are you already into the next 5 years? Your mind can do that. Okay. Be intentional about where your mind is in the moment. That's another way that you can start to practice adding more stillness in your life. The last one. This is going to be so obvious, but the last way that I'm going to give you where you can add more stillness in your life is to literally sit in silence. Like complete silence. No electronics, no phone. If you are in a house or in a room where there's a window, close the window, close the blinds, sit in darkness. Yes, that is, for some of you may be extreme, but do that. That is a way that you can add more stillness in your life. That is a way to recalibrate your essence. That is the way to recalibrate the essence, recalibrate your alchemy, to reconnect with your power for its pure expression through you. It takes being still. All right. So that was the second part. Don't forget to go back and watch and or listen to the first part of this. All right. The two go hand in hand. It's very important that you listen to and or watch both. All right. Remember too that August 31st, Unleash Your Sovereignty. We begin 8 weeks. These are live video sessions. All right. Where you are going to experience your sovereignty, your spiritual gifts in ways that you never have before. We are doing nervous system work, identity work. In each of those 8 sessions, we're hitting different areas. All right. And so you can go to the link that I'm going to include in the description box of the video and also in the show notes where you can read more about what each session that we're going to cover, what's covered in each session. All right. So secure your spot today. Also, if you are looking for more one-on-one support, I am still taking one-on-one clients, 24 session packages available to you. I am also from now until mid-August for now, I have opened up my schedule where I am, you're able to schedule one 55-minute session with me. So let me say this, and I always forget to say this in my episodes, but both the 24 session package, those are video sessions. Okay. I don't do phone. Those are video sessions. You have to see me. I have to see you. We have to see each other. The same with the 55-minute session. That is a video session. Show up. Be in your power. Okay. We need to see each other. So just putting that out there. Also, I have individual courses and books that are available to you. I also have just launched my first physical product. That is at spellandhoney.myshopify.com. And I think I'm going to be shortening that website, shortening that name. Takes too long to say it. But anyway, go check it out. Okay, for now. All right. So until next time, be sovereign.